Last time we played POSH, it was an interesting game. I'm hoping we're not going to have a repeat performance today. Hello and welcome to part 56 of the Bolton battle. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode we have a home game against Peterborough United and then we're away against Hull, both in the Championship. Since you were last with me, we found a little bit of form. We won a couple of games, we lost a couple of games as well, but the season's not going disastrously so far. We're at the end of September and we're not in the relegation zone. That's important because based on how we started the season, I wasn't expecting us to be anywhere near this high up the league at this stage, but today's game is a massive one because POSH are level on points with us. We're both going to be in the relegation battle all season long, and as we know from last year, they're capable of putting 9 goals past us. Admittedly, we're not going to play anything like the team we played that day. However, injury problems. Is it injuries or suspensions this time? A suspension to Glenn Jennings and an injury to Enrique Alonso means we are having to play a youth player again. John Ross is our only fit right back at the club. He's 18 years old. He's come through the youth system. Luckily, he was on loan at Accrington Stanley when the disaster last season happened. So he wasn't a part of that team that got absolutely thumped on the last day of the season. So he's going to be making his Bolton debut today. He's probably not good enough. I mean, he's got half decent potential. He might one day be okay. Might be a decent squad player. But he's going to be playing a couple of games, I think, because I'm not sure how long Jennings is suspended for. Is it just... it's just the one game. Okay, and then Alonso is going to be fit again in a week or so as well. So... yeah, I can live with that. So the rest of the team, we've got Barrett in goal, Joey LeBlanc, Tierney and Madahali as our centre-backs, White as the other wing-back opposite Ross. And then Parnaby and Durant in midfield. Joe O'Connell is going to play in midfield. He has been injured. He's not played very much since he arrived in our last episode, but he is going to play today because he's a better option than John Jones. And then up front, we've got Parnell and Leandrinho. They're both scoring goals-ish. They're the only players really who are scoring goals, so if they're fit, they play. I can't remember if last episode we'd signed this guy yet. Sion Jones? Is that how you say it? He's come on loan for the season. He's an 18-year-old central midfielder who comes in from Cardiff. He actually played a couple of games for Cardiff in this division before joining us on loan for the season. So it's a bit of an odd one. I don't really know why he came. He is a proper defensive midfielder, so gives us the option, a little bit more flexibility in the squad to play over holding midfielder if we need to. But he's also almost as good as John Durant in central midfield as well. So regardless, he's going to strengthen the team, but he's basically come in and got himself injured straight away. So we're not going to get to see him today. I know he's suspended, because he got himself sent off on his debut. I remember, quite a few days since I played the game. But yes, I remember him getting sent off on his debut. Well, less said about that, the better, eh? So let's submit our team. And all we're really hoping for today is that we don't get an absolute battering. Obviously, the media have been talking about what happened last time we played against this team. Now, it's a little bit harsh because obviously... we deliberately lost that game in order to get them promoted. If POSH have got any kind of spirit of fairness, they'll return the favour today. They know full well what we did and why we're responsible for them being in this division. So if they're gentlemen, they'll roll over and let us put 9 past them and get our season up and running properly. But I don't think it's going to work like that. Why is that piece of hair sticking up like that? There we go. That's better. Looked ridiculous for a minute there. Right. Well, I don't think they were playing this system the last time we played them, so they're trying something a little bit different. We're obviously trying something a little bit different, so no one knows what the other team are up to. I'm hoping we're not going to be too cautious against them, though. I have tried to explain to the lads before the match that, we deliberately lost that game, and to be honest... I don't think there's anyone in our squad who is involved in that game because we've got a lot of new players come in. I don't think Parnell featured at all. Tom White was suspended, if I remember. Durant didn't play because we played Lee Martin. And Barnett didn't play because we had Eggs in goals. Parnell's put us 1-0 up. So, yeah, no one in this team was involved last time we played him. So, hopefully it's not going to play too heavily on their minds. They're going to show that they're better than that other lot, which they blooming should be. This is the first team in the Championship, not a League One bunch of reserves and youth players. Let's have a look at Parnell's goal in 3D because it looked like he absolutely thumped it. And that puts him level on goals with Leandrinho now. They're battling it out for top goal scorer for us this season. So it actually bobbled rather nicely for him off a POSH defender. And he did absolutely thump it into the bottom corner. Who cares how it got to him? It was a good finish. We're 1-0 up, and that puts us a nice little cushion away from the relegation zone. It's the start of a run. Playoffs, here we come. If we get anywhere near the playoffs, I might just stop playing Football Manager until the new one comes out, because if a dodgy old team like the one we've put together here at Bolton, playing really sort of, let's say, efficient football, manages to do back-to-back promotions from League 2 through to the Premier League, then this game is officially broken. There you go. Between the two of them, Ross and Barnett have decided they don't want that to happen. Poor old John Ross, on his debut, young player. I mean, it's a bit harsh. Yeah, I mean, it does come off him. It's a bit harsh that it's gone down as an own goal, because it wasn't anything spectacularly useless from him. It just sort of rebounded back into him and then into the back of the net. But that would fill him with confidence. Hopefully the fans won't get on his back too hard, because, it's the first time really, certainly in a game we've been taking seriously. I think this is the first time we've actually brought a young player through in 6 years at Bolton. So it would be nice. It would be nice for him to go on and be successful and be a squad player for a few years and get, 20 or 30 games under his belt. He's never going to be a first team regular, but as a sort of third choice down there as the right wing back, he'll get games every now and again. And it's nice to have a youth player come through. Right, POSH are all over us here. They're swarming past us, but we intercept well. But that's a poor pass from Parnell, and Leandrinho gives the ball away. And POSH have just done a break on us, and it's 2-1. And oh dear, that little cushion we were speaking about before, that's gone completely. And our defence are so high up there and so static. And it's a back three. It's not hard to have a back three all playing in the same line. But we've got the left-sided one, who I guess is Mr. Patreon Joey LeBlanc, playing everyone else on side. It's a bit of a shame, isn't it? Right, we need to get back into this game. We should be winning this match. If we can't win this match, it is going to be a long, hard season for us. Right, Madahali, what can he do? Forward to Leandrinho, who wins it when he really shouldn't have. He crosses to Parnell, and Parnell scores at the second time of asking. Leandrinho did brilliantly here, because it was a nothing ball lumped forward that he had no business winning. He brings it down beautifully, knocks it ahead, beats his man for pace, and that is a beautiful cross. And I actually think that was across the line from the first shot from Parnell, but luckily he's not fazed by it. He's not off celebrating. He's just there to tuck in the follow-up. There we go, 2-2. What can we do to try and change the game? Right, John Ross not having the best of games, but we can't bring him off. Joey LeBlanc, though, we can bring off, and we'll bring on Andrew Manning for him. LeBlanc not having the best of games. Leandrinho, although he did very well for that goal, isn't having a particularly good game. Let's bring Robert Webber on, just because he can play as target man and allows us to push Parnell further forward. And Parnell's on a hat-trick now, and we all know he's better as a poacher than he is as the target man. We are training him on being a complete forward, but I don't expect anything to develop on that anytime soon. But he's got all the attributes. He can be the new Thierry Ambrose. Right, I wonder why the media aren't calling him that. Right, Joe O'Connell needs to come off, actually. He was supposed to come off after 60 minutes because he's not fit. And, oh dear, we might have broken him. We don't really have anyone to bring on for it. I knew he had to come off. Why haven't we got anyone on the bench to come on for him? We'll bring Lee Martin on for him. Because I think Durant can play there. He's not brilliant at it, but it's something he can do. And we've seen him score a couple of good goals recently. He's starting to add a bit more attacking play to his game. So let's play him a little bit further forward. See if he can turn himself into Bolton's Steven Gerrard. That's what we're looking for here. It's just going to be a 2-2 here, isn't it? Hopefully we intercept. We do. Ross lumps it forward to Webber. Can he do anything special with it with 3 seconds to go? Tom White just needs to do one of his specials, and he doesn't even get the cross in. 2-2. Not a massive disaster, but certainly not the win that we should have got against a team that we should be better than, and now we've got to go and play second place Hull away from home. Expect a thumping. Right, Hull have managed to go top of the league. They won their game at the weekend. So that's good. We're playing against top of the league team away from home when we're not in great form. This is going to be problematic. We've made a couple of changes. Jennings comes back in at wing back. Alonso's still not fit enough, but Jennings is back from his suspension. Also back from suspension is Sion Jones. So you're going to get to see him play alongside Durant in midfield. And ridiculously, when everybody's fit, assuming we can play them all, I don't even know how many low knees you can have in the team at the same time. We're going to have the whole of the midfield, the wing backs, and our star striker are all going to be players on loan. We are going to be ruined if we get promoted to the Premier League and we can't have all these low knees because we've got no money to spend. So luckily that's not on the cards because we're going to go and get thumped by Hull now. And rightly so, because we are building a team around low knee players who are not going to be here long term, even though the likes of Alonso have been here 3 years now, and Durant and Parnell's had 2 years. So, oh, look at that. That was awful. Oh, dear. I mean, this is probably one of those games where we shouldn't be playing attacking. We're going to anyway, because you know we have to. It's the way things work around here. But it's mainly because I'm clueless and don't have another plan. I'm open to ideas, but try not to make them too complicated because I don't understand them really. I'm certainly not going to get into all this making changes mid-game lark. That sounds too much like hard work. Just score more goals than the opposition. That's all football's about. Look, Ipswich are second in the league. I've just noticed that. They're storming it, and they should do really. They spent, I can't remember if I've showed you, they spent over £50 million in the summer. As a championship club. That's more than I had as Ipswich manager as my first 3 seasons in the Premier League. It's mental. If they don't romp this league, then their manager needs sacking and I'll go in and take over. And Hull have just carved through us there. They've already scored that goal once, but it was disallowed for offside. So they've just done exactly the same thing again and just timed the run slightly better, and we're just really vulnerable to that move, clearly. And if I was a manager who got bogged down in all these silly tactical details we were talking about before, I'd have tried to do something about that, but not going to. You know, we'll see what happens. We're not about stopping the opposition scoring. We never have been. We're just going to try and score more goals than they do. Obviously, easier said than done when the team is considerably better than we are. We're a team who just got out of League One. And had a really poor run while we were down there and only really won promotion by default because everyone else was rubbish, playing against a team that were in the Premier League last year. So, you know, you could argue it's a mid-table League One side against a lower Premier League side, and rightly so, they are destroying us. And that fella, he's got a finish on him, hasn't he? Fran Madrigal. Look, he starts the move, a beautiful ball out onto the wing. And they just whip it in, and he's just a clinical finisher. Look at that, just tucks it away. 2-0. He's now scored 3 goals. Yeah. I've got nothing to offer up against this. We just need to let it happen and try not to get too bogged down by it. Although we're going out fired up. This is probably going to mean red cards aplenty, which is what's happened so far this season when we've been fired up. But you know, needs must. If we can't score goals, we may as well get sent off for spectacular fouls. We need to keep our fans entertained somehow. And we're nothing if not an entertaining team. I'm sure you'll agree. Any ideas? Let me know in the comments what you would do now. Obviously, I can't take that advice on board because you're not here now and I won't see the comments until after the video. But, you know, always interesting to know what I did wrong after I've done it. Right, oh, that's the wrong man. That was a mistake. There we go. Right, Manning is the one I'm trying to bring on for Tierney. There you go. Let the old man have a little bit of a rest. Tom White could also do with a little bit of a rest. So we'll bring Helio on for him. We're not trying to win the game here with these substitutions. We're just trying to stop any injuries. We should probably take Joe O'Connell off as well. And there's Madrigal's hat-trick. He has definitely deserved it. He's been superb. I don't understand how we only had 4 goals this season going into this game. That's the same as Mark Parnell and just one more than Leandrinho. And he is clearly a cut above both of them. And he's just clinical. But, you know, they've taken him off now. Right, we can get back into it. So, Helio with the cross into Parnell. He doesn't get there though, and their goalkeeper just collects it nicely. This is one of those games where it doesn't matter. We were never going to win. It doesn't matter that we've lost. hopefully it won't affect confidence too much. Helio crosses in. Leandrinho. We've actually had a little bit of joy from this left-hand side over the last 5 minutes. Joey LeBlanc with a good tackle, but unfortunately it bobbles through to a whole player, but they don't make anything of it, which is just as well. The media have been a little bit on Joey LeBlanc's back, I think probably because we spent so much money on him, because he hasn't been any worse than any of the other centre-backs who came in over the summer. They're all going to have poor ratings because they're centre-backs in a poor team. But I don't think he's been any worse than any of the other options. We'll stick Durant further forward again because he did it last game. He's done it quite a few times this season now, especially with the strength that we've now got in midfield behind him with Parnaby and Jones. We've still got Connor Key knocking around as well. Durant might play a few more games further forward like that. Anyway, we should probably stick him on a training regime for it. I mean, that was a nothing header to nobody. 3-0's okay. 4-0 would be horrible. So let's... Oh, Barrett just saves us from horrible. We're back in the relegation zone, everybody. Oh, dear. Long season ahead of us. I mean, that just showed the gulf between the top and the bottom of the Championship. We had it before at Ipswich. It took 3 seasons to get out of the Championship with a good Ipswich team. Now we're a rubbish Bolton team. It's going to take a while. Don't expect a promotion this year, folks. If you've enjoyed that episode, make sure you pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. And thank you very much for watching.